boys and girls. It's Mrs. Gross. I was just looking on IXL, noticing that some of you are having trouble with skill M10. M10 is multiplying fractions and whole numbers and then sorting them. So what this skill wanted you to do is to look at these three multiplication problems and then decide, is the product less than 1, equal to 1, or greater than 1? Okay. So this is how I would do it if I were you. There's a few options, obviously. But let's just look at the first one, 3/4 times 1. Okay. If you recognize when you multiply anything by 1, the first amount is not going to change. So 3/4 times 1 will stay 3/4. And just to prove it, I'll just quickly do the math on the side. Let me do it over here. 3/4 times 1. I'm going to write 1 as a fraction, just to make it easier, 1/1. Okay, equals, and you can see that nothing will change, 3/4. And then ask yourselves, is 3/4 less than 1, equal to 1, or greater than 1? And if you're not sure, just think about what 3/4 look like. Here's a circle that's split into fourths, and if I colored in 3 of them, I'd do 1, 2, 3. So 3/4 times 1 will be less than 1 because my whole circle is not filled in. So that I would drag that down into this box. I don't know if I could do that on. No. So I would drag that down to here. Okay, so that's 3/4 times 1. That product is less than 1. Okay. Now the next one, 5 times 1/4. Some of you might be able to look at it and be able to tell and sort it accordingly, but some of you might have to write it out on the side and do the actual math, which is what I would have to do. I can't even look at that right now and tell you what it is automatically. So I'm going to write it out. Okay. And then, so 5 times 1/4, I do 5/4. Now I have to ask myself, is that less than 1, equal to 1, or greater than 1? Well, I'm noticing that my numerator is bigger. So I know it's greater than 1, but just to prove it, let me do it this way. So fourths, I'm going to break 2 circles into fourths, and I'm going to color in 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's 1, and I colored in more than 1. So this equation is greater than 1. 5 times 1/4 would go here. And you can look at this, the product, 5/4, and just know that because the numerator is bigger than the denominator, which means it's going to be greater than 1. Okay, and the last one, just do it on the side again, write out the work. It's really important when you're doing IXL that you have notebook paper next to you, okay? Because for a lot of you, and for most of us, we can't just look at that and know it in our head. So it's really important for you to write it out. So 5 times 3/4, I'm going to write over here. 5 times 3 is 15/4. And once again, my numerator is bigger than my denominator. This time it's way bigger. So I know that it's going to be greater than 1. So this one I would write here as well. And also you could look at this. This is an improper fraction. You could change it to a mixed number by dividing to find out what it would actually be. 4 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract. That's 3. Your remainder becomes your numerator. And your divisor is your denominator. So it's 3 3/4. So obviously 3 3/4 is greater than 1. So you would take this 5 times 3/4, and that you would drag it to greater than 1. Okay, so don't get worried about this. It looks like a lot of work. Just take each of these 3 multiplication problems and do the math on the side. Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.